Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's Hot and Cold Report, brought to you by Fantasy Baseball Cafe. I'm Jason Gilbo, taking a look at all the trades and all the rumors going on this week. It's kind of going to be a trade edition here for the Hot and Cold Report this week. A lot of rumors going on, a lot of guys on the move, a lot of big names being mentioned. So it's going to be an interesting turn here over the next few days to see where people land and see where their value goes. So let's jump at a couple of guys here that are for sure off to new cities and have already been there and already possibly playing in the lineups tonight. The Royals were big ads over this week, adding Johnny Cueto from the Cincinnati Reds and adding Ben Zobrist from the Oakland A's. Two really big ads that are going to really keep them World Series, make a World Series push. And especially with Cueto, with Yordano Ventura, who hasn't been great this season. The lefties they have haven't been that great. It's going to be interesting to see if Cueto can carry that team. So, for me, for fantasy, Cueto gets a big bump here. He's going to be moving to a team with a better offense, more productive offense, I would say, better defense, and a huge boost in park factor moving to Kansas City Kauffman Stadium from Great American Ballpark. Cueto's always pitched well in Great American Ballpark, so it's not something that affects him a huge deal, but it is a nice add. I really love the move for him for the rest of the season rankings. I think it's going to be a great play for whoever owns him, and it's going to be interesting to see where he lands next season, whether Royals keep signing him or see what happens. As far as Ben Zobrist goes, of course he's an upgrade for the Royals at second base in the outfield as well, whether they keep playing Omar Infante, whatever they do. But of course he's going to move from Oakland, where he was hitting the top of the lineup. He was hitting second, third, fourth a lot of the times when he was healthy. He's going to probably move slightly down in the lineup, maybe sixth or seventh. It's hard to say because Royals are an incredibly deep team. You got their first top six hitters are really great fantasy options this season, and where does Zobrist ranks in that in terms of Yos's mind there. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. Overall, I keep his fantasy value at the same value. It's not a huge shift there. Talking about the bullpens, there's a lot of moves here. Jonathan Papelbon finally dealt to the Washington Nationals. This means Ken Giles is going to be a huge add off the waiver wire. In fact, if he's out there, just minimize this tab and go and grab him right now because he's an excellent source of saves here. Papelbon opens up a window for him. Great waiver wire add. 1.81 ERA over 44 innings, 27.7% strikeout rate. God, his fastball is just a heat-seeking missile. Just a really solid add there. Far better than this next one. Tyler Clippard loses a ton of value moving out of the closer role for Oakland, and he's going to head to the setup role with the Mets. If your league holds or counts holds, obviously Clippard's going to have some nice value there, still being the guy. And I mean, who knows if the bullpen continues to struggle, we could see Clippard become a closer, but who knows. For the Oakland A's, Edward Mujica is expected to get some save chances, but obviously he's not the safest of situations to go and grab. But one to keep an eye on. I'm definitely going to take the chance on him if you need saves, but it's not a real stable situation, especially with Doolittle, who possibly could be back here shortly. But like I said, it's a mess out there now. And just another couple of rumors here. Jim Johnson for the Atlanta Braves could create a opening in the closer situation there in Atlanta, as well as Craig Kimbrell. Padres are expected to be big sellers and a lot of guys on the moves. So, of course, the big one, which happened nightly here, we are taking a look at Troy Tulowitzki off north of the border in exchange for Jose Reyes and a few prospects there who won't have any immediate impact in the fantasy level. Many are worried about Tulo's hip holding up out there on the turf in the Rogers Center, and I don't blame you. The guy's been injury prone, same with Jose Reyes, so it's kind of a one-for-one deal there. But it's no reason to jump ship on him. I have an idea for you guys later on about Tulo, but just talk about his value real quick. He's going to jump to arguably the best offense in baseball right now. The park factor really, of course, it's a drop moving from Coors Field, but to the Rogers Center, not a huge difference, and especially in that division, playing at Fenway, playing at Baltimore, playing at Yankee Stadium. The only pitcher's park is a Trop, and then the other four parks are just great hitting ballparks. So he's going to have a ton of value there. So it's a lot to like. Like I said, I mean, Tulo, he's not on his way down, but he's slowly starting to just start to trend down a little bit. But still going to be a keeper at the shortstop position, which is rather weak. But still a nice ad there. Going forward for the Blue Jays. But like I said, a thing you could do is this is the perfect time to throw him out there on the trade block in active leagues and see what you can get for him. Whether it's people overpay for him. Whether you need to fill a couple spots and they're willing to give you a few really nice ads to make your lineup better than it was before across the board. I don't have a problem with that. Tulo's been having a good year as far as a shortstop goes, but not a tremendously great season. And of course, always throw your trades in our forums at fantasybaseballcafe.com, because a lot of the great baseball minds there will give you their opinions on what Tulo's worth is, including myself and the other guys here. As far as Jose Reyes goes, not a lot of fantasy value going forward this season, and I believe Reyes is not going to stay in Colorado. I believe he's going to be moved elsewhere. They just don't need him. They're probably obviously going to look at a younger shortstop coming up, and Reyes, they have Blackman, Dickerson. Those guys are all top of the order guys. LeMahieu they're not going to just immediately throw Reyes in the top of the order. So I believe his value is going to go down. If people believe Reyes is staying in Coors and going to have some sort of value, ship him off, because that's a great way to get rid of him for at least something. Now taking a look at the rumors here, there's a lot involving the Mets, especially acquiring almost every big-name outfielder there is out there. They're looking at Jay Bruce, Justin Upton, Gerardo Parra, and Carlos Gomez. Outside of Upton, they would all get a slight downgrade moving from home hitters ballparks to New York. But New York's not terrible. It's not a terrible hitting ballpark, even though they keep moving the fences in each year. I don't believe their value stays remotely the same. No significant gain or drops. So whether they move to New York or not, it's going to be the same situation. And kind of a trade news from this morning, actually. The Dodgers, nothing's been confirmed yet, but they have acquired Matt Latos from the Marlins. You have to see this as an upgrade for Latos, but it's not enough of an upgrade to go out and grab him. But I will be keeping tabs on him as the starts go. So, kind of some other rumors here. Cole Hamels still in the waitings. That's likely going to be a deadline deal with the Astros and Rangers, two teams that are really kind of have to be a step ahead of the other guys, with the Giants possibly dropping out. And be curious to see if David Price becomes available, because the Tigers are going to likely be sellers here. They've already kind of said that's what they need to do, and I think it's a wise choice with them being third in the division and not really making any moves behind Royals so far. So you could see David Price in a new uniform as well as Yoenis Cespedes. And the thing about Cespedes is the Angels were interested in him, and because they need some outfield help, and they went and landed David Murphy and David DeJesus, and they're looking for a little platoon role from them. But that's tough luck if they were looking at Cespedes and interested in him, and now have passed because the Tigers weren't sure what they were going to do yet. It's got to be a little disappointing for the Angels. That could have been a really nice lineup there with Cole Calhoun, Pujols, Cespedes, and Trout. That's a nice 2 through 5 lineup right there. As far as Carlos Gonzalez goes for the Rockies, they gave us a 30 to 70% chance he gets moved before the deadline. So of course those are really nice numbers. It's like your cable guy telling you he's going to be there between 10 and 4. But this is what the Colorado Rockies do, just giving us a nice estimate of what the hell they're trying to do with their organization. Likely he's going to be moved. The Mets are not interested in him as an outfielder. Really curious to see where he goes. But he has been red hot. He's got 8 homers in the last 10 games, a couple multi-homers games. So we'll see where he goes and see if the park advantage move from Coors hurts him a little bit, because that could be something to keep an eye on. Of course, he's also injury prone too. So, like I said, the San Diego Padres are likely trade guys, and they're shipping out some really big names as far as fantasy goes. Tyson Ross, James Shields, Justin Upton, Andrew Cashner may all be on the move, and I'm really surprised about Shields offering him a ton of money, kind of seeing what they're going to have to do. Of course, Shields has been great in the strikeout game. Uh, kind of has failed keeping the ball in the yard this season, but been better of late. So it's just going to be interesting for all those teams that are looking for pitching. The Padres seem to be the best source there with those three guys, less likely Cashner. So a lot going on, a lot more to come over the next few days. Be sure to stay on our side. We'll be keeping you posted, and head to the forums. A lot of talk about value going on there, and then of course let me know what you think. Head to the comments here and get your take as a fan or as a fantasy player about their moves.